Kevin Costner spends time with mystery woman post-divorce after sharing Yellowstone finale thoughts. Kevin Costner appears to be enjoying his time off after Yellowstone has come to an end. The actor was spotted in Aspen, Colorado on Wednesday, taking his dog for a walk. He wore brown sunglasses, light-wash jeans, hiking boots, and a black puffer jacket. He was joined by a mystery woman who donned hiking boots, blue jeans, and a black puffer jacket with a furry hood. Though the Yellowstone finale occurred not too long ago, Kevin's character, John Dutton, was not in it. Kevin finalized his divorce earlier this year from Christine Baumgartner. The two were married for 18 years and shares joint custody of their 3 children. It was a messy public divorce with Christine asking for $250,000 in child support, which Kevin believed she would use on plastic surgery. The two ended up settling their separation privately. Kevin also recently weighed in on the Yellowstone finale despite not appearing in it. John was killed off earlier in Season 5 in a murder meant to look like a suicide. While fans were vocal about their dislike for the final episode, Kevin seemed to not have a lot of emotion about the highly acclaimed show. "I'm not thinking about the Yellowstone finale. I don't think I've given it any thoughts. We'll just let it go," he said to the Daily Mail. Kevin's animosity for the show seems to stem from a fallout Kevin had with the show's creator, Taylor Sheridan. Kevin's character's early death didn't surprise fans who knew of the long-running feud. Besides Taylor, Kevin also seemed to reportedly have bad blood with his on-screen son, actor Luke Grimes. Luke spoke about the death of John Dutton. "Hopefully everyone can see that it was time," he said. To be really honest, there was a part of Kevin being gone that meant some of the conflict was gone. Luke continued and seemingly pointed the finger at the Dancing with Wolves star. Obviously, it didn't make it super fun to be around. "Not pointing any fingers, but it was actually the easiest season we've filmed." The finale of the hit show saw Case Dutton selling the ranch to its rightful owners, the Broken Rock Indians. Meanwhile, Beth Dutton and her husband Rip Wheeler purchased a new ranch together after she murdered her brother Jamie. Some people online didn't enjoy how the long-running series ended. "I felt like it was entirely too rushed. The whole season, the guys leaving, everything," one person wrote. "The plot with Jamie and the kill for hire was way too rushed. It ended way too quickly and easily. Just all around felt like it was a lazy, last-minute put together." Kevin Costner leaned against the weathered rail of his private balcony, the sweeping view of the ocean stretching far beyond the horizon. His mind buzzed with the thoughts of his recent divorce, a chapter of his life that had, for the most part, been left behind. The final episode of Yellowstone, the show that had brought him so much fame and personal investment, was over. The weight of saying goodbye to John Dutton, a character who had become synonymous with Costner's own persona, had settled like a lingering fog in his chest. Yet there was no time for dwelling too long on the past, or the future for that matter. A soft breeze tousled his hair as he took a deep breath, inhaling the salty air, savoring the stillness of the night. The house felt too empty without the hum of the family, the voices of loved ones echoing off the walls. He had spent too many years giving everything to his career, and now, as he stood in the quiet aftermath, he wasn't quite sure what was next. Then there was her, the mystery woman who had unexpectedly appeared in his life, slowly but surely filling the space that had once been occupied by his old world. Her name was Mia. She wasn't famous. She didn't chase the limelight like so many others, and that was one of the things that drew Kevin to her. They had met under ordinary circumstances. No red carpets, no interviews, just a quiet coffee shop in Malibu. She was sitting in the corner, scribbling in a notebook, when he had stumbled in after a morning run. "Is this seat taken?" he had asked, pointing to the chair across from her. She had looked up, meeting his eyes with a calm intensity. Her gaze wasn't starstruck, not even the slightest hint of recognition. It was refreshing, in fact. "Not at all," she had said, offering a smile that felt both genuine and reassuring. They had spent the next hour talking about everything and nothing. Her laugh was quiet, but it had a warmth that reminded him of the kind of love he had once felt, long before fame had complicated his relationships. She listened as he spoke about Yellowstone, but not with reverence or fanfare. Instead, she seemed more interested in hearing his thoughts on the future, the world beyond the set, and the lessons he had learned through his journey. They exchanged numbers, and their connection deepened, slowly at first, like the ebb of a tide rolling over the shore. It wasn't long before they were spending more time together, exploring both the beauty of nature and the hidden corners of their minds. Mia had a quiet strength about her, a deep well of intelligence, and an openness that made Kevin feel comfortable in a way that he hadn't experienced in years. But it wasn't just her mind that intrigued him. It was the softness of her presence. She didn't push him into any expectations, didn't rush him to move on from his past. And in that, he found solace. There was no pressure, no urgency, just the slow, comforting rhythm of companionship. Tonight, after the final Yellowstone episode had aired, they had sat together, watching the sunset fade into night. Kevin had shared his thoughts with her about the closing chapter of his iconic role, how it felt like the end of an era. He had always known that the series would come to an end, but the finality of it was still jarring. "It feels strange, doesn't it?" he had mused, his voice low and thoughtful. John Dutton was so much a part of who I've become over these years. Saying goodbye to him, it's like saying goodbye to a part of myself. Mia had reached over, placing her hand gently on his. "But you're still you, Kevin," she had said softly. "You're not defined by just one part of your life. You've lived so much more." Her words had lingered in the air, and for the first time in weeks, Costner felt a shift inside. Maybe it was true. Maybe the end of Yellowstone wasn't the end of him, but rather an opening to something new, something yet to be discovered. Now, standing on the balcony, he felt her presence beside him again. He could hear the soft click of her shoes against the marble floors as she stepped out, joining him in the quiet of the night. "Penny for your thoughts." Mia's voice was light, her smile carrying the same warmth as always. Kevin turned to her, his gaze softening as he met her eyes. "I was just thinking about how strange it is," he said, a slight chuckle escaping his lips. "Saying goodbye to something like that, but also knowing that I'm ready for whatever comes next. I don't want to waste time wondering about what's behind me." "You're always so driven, Kevin," she said, her tone thoughtful. "But maybe that's why you're able to look ahead like that. Not everyone has the ability to just move forward." He smiled, his heart a little lighter with each passing second. "Maybe I'm just lucky," he admitted. "Or maybe it's just that I've found someone who doesn't make me feel like I have to keep moving all the time." Mia tilted her head, a playful glint in her eyes. "I don't think I'm the one making you slow down, Kevin. I think you're finally letting yourself breathe." Her words echoed in his mind, and he realized just how true they were. For so many years, he had been caught up in the whirlwind of fame, success, and expectations. But here, with Mia, he had found something different, something real, something grounded. And though the world outside was moving at its usual pace, Kevin knew, for the first time in a long time, that he was exactly where he needed to be.